I may let you lean over and say
Yeah. He does have to check his mic and make sure everything's in great shape.
some little group decided that wasn't right. Everybody ready? All right. Good morning. It's 10:01. I'll call this meeting Wichita County Commissioners Court. Everyone rise, please. At this time, let's see who's up today.
I am.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Bob is under the prayer.
Brother Hampton.
Now let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you with sad hearts, Lord. We lost two good friends this past week, and this reminds us of how fragile life really is. Help us to understand what friendship's all about. Help us to get it said when we hesitate to say things that are on our heart to our friends. We lift up these families of Larry Nash and Judge Mark Price, and we just ask you to be present in their family circle. As we know you already are, but make your presence even more known. Holy Father, we're reminded by these two deaths of these great leaders that the color of the skin really doesn't make any difference on what makes a good leader, but it is that person's willingness to serve and desire to help others. Forgive us of our laziness, of our apathetic nature to let someone else do the job. Help us to understand our responsibilities of being a member of this great country that you've provided. Forgive us when we elect leaders that don't know our history and try to refashion who we are. We are a God-fearing and a God-loving nation. So, not to blame them, but to help us to realize that we are to blame when we elect those that don't know who we are. Guide and direct us. We thank you for the leaders here in this county, and we just ask you now to help us as we do your business here this morning. Guide and direct us. Forgive us, Lord, where we fail you, and help us to make this nation greater through your guidance and leadership. All this we ask in the sweet name of Jesus.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Bob. Y'all would join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas pledge, please.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Take your seats, please. All right, we have some service awards to present this morning, and first of those is to Angelina Abera. Please come forward. You want to come? Hi. Good morning. Good to see you. Yeah. All right. Since this is yours, you want to read this?
No, get after it.
All right.
You do a fine job.
Well, I know you type well. I don't know how well you read. It wasn't that good, Bob. All right. Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is presented to Angelina Vera for 15 years of service to Wichita County. Congratulations on reaching your milestone service anniversary. Through your hard work, dedication, and loyalty, Wichita County is able to provide a quality service to citizens of Wichita County, and that's kind of the hallmark that your boss there ran on. In honor of your service, we are pleased to offer you a choice of anniversary awards. On behalf of the Commissioners Court, we commend you for your service and with your every success as you continue your career towards your next milestone. Your commitment to Wichita County is deeply appreciated. Signed by Mr. Tommy Smythe and Mr. Clay Glasgow. Thank you for everything. Yeah. And Nicole D. Keeler. You know what, you started these, but them awfully young. I'm going to tell you, Bob. Tommy, excuse me, but wow. All right, certificate of appreciation. Congratulations to you. Yes, another 15-year service person in Mr. Smythe's office. Congratulations, you're reaching your milestone service anniversary. Through your hard work, dedication, and loyalty, Wichita County is able to provide quality service to the citizens of Wichita County. In honor of your service, we are pleased to offer you a choice of anniversary awards. Please accept your gift as an expression of our gratitude for the contributions you have made every day. On behalf of the Commissioners Court, we commend you for your service and with every success as you continue towards your next milestone. Signed by Tommy Smythe and Clay Glasgow. Congratulations. Thank you.
Angie and Vicki, both judge, are top hands in our accounting department. They work very close with Bob and his staff, and every nickel and dime of tax money that comes through Wichita County coffers crosses their desk. They do a great job with a lot of money, a lot of responsibility. They're both top hands. I'd
be glad if you increase that from dollars to $5 bills, nickels and dimes. Gets us there, but takes a lot of them. But thanks, sir. Anyhow, Bob gets his hands really dirty counting all those nickels and dimes. Y'all are welcome to stay, receive that. Also, if you all want to go back, you won't hurt our feelings because it's not going to get much more exciting than that the rest of the morning. I think that's going to be the higher part of it, yes, but whatever y'all would like to do. All right, at this point, I'd ask the court to take action on the consent agenda.
Judge, having reviewed the consent agenda on Friday and also again this morning, I would make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Mahler, second by Commissioner Watts to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 1 on general business is review and approve the emergency and regular bills for payment on February 9th, 2015. There's 2 sets of bills, so you wonder what we're doing. With next week with a conference and most of the court gone to that, we're doubling up. Okay. For the bills that were presented for February 9th, could I have a motion to approve these?
Judge, after reviewing the bills, regular bills and emergency bills, make a motion that we approve them.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll say that.
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Mahler to approve the bills presented for February 9th payment. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 2 is review and approve the emergency and regular bills for payment on February 17th of 2015.
Judge, I move that we approve the regular bills for payment for February the 17th.
I'll second that.
All right. Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Mahler to approve the bills presented for February 17th for payment. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 3 is discuss, consider, take action to accept a mobile phone Texas Incorporated quote number 150112 WCEMC in the amount of $6,187 for a repeater system upgrade for the courthouse and courthouse annex security to be paid by the appropriate 560 department line as determined by the county auditor. Sheriff or Mr. Burgoyne, I don't know which one of y'all.
Well, I'll start out. I'm going to pass, since the implementation of additional security, we've got people in the courthouse annex. it's virtually impossible to utilize our portable radios on that building, inside that building. Of course, it's pretty impossible to use our portable radios anywhere in this county because of narrow banding and some other issues with our radio system we have that we're going to address probably at budget time. But
Ted, excuse me, Sheriff, would you pass the microphone to the sheriff so we're sure
I
that...
can talk a little louder if you need to, because it will be
No, we
quick.
need to pass it.
I can barely hear you, David.
What?
I can barely hear you. Exactly.
Thank you. Thanks, Bob.
Do I need to start over? I hope not.
No.
The radios that won't work, so I asked Lee to look into it and get with Mobile Phone, and Dwayne's here as from the Mobile Phone of Texas to be able to, which is our Motorola rep, to allow to explain what the situation is and what we need to do to make the communications work, period, from the inside the courthouse annex. And it probably would help as well over here at the courthouse because the portable radios the deputies carry, they just can't get out on them at all due to some of the problems we have with the actual system itself. And Lee and Dwayne, they're going to explain that more technical side of it. And I'm going to pass off to Lee, let Lee do what he needs to with that at this point. He's going to pass.
Okay. Dwayne, give us your name.
My name is Dwayne Hunter with Mobile Phone of Texas. What we've proposed is a repeater system that will increase coverage in the annex to aid in any situation that with communications over there with the security. Currently, they cannot talk on the county's repeater system due to the building and the location. So what we've proposed is to add a repeater, and what that repeater will allow them to do is to communicate within the annex, and the placement of the antenna, we're going to hopefully improve the coverage here in the courthouse as well. And as the sheriff was telling you guys, we do have pretty poor coverage in the courthouse and the annex, and this should take care of the situation and allow the security to be able to talk between the courthouse and the annex and give the security a good system to handle emergencies on.
So that one repeater is going to be located in the annex, or is it going to be located in the courthouse?
Well, it's going to be located in the courthouse. After speaking with the dispatchers that operate records downstairs on channel 2, which is what they call a talk around channel, they can talk throughout the courthouse and they can talk over at the annex. What we propose to do is to go up to the penthouse on the courthouse here and place that repeater, and that will give you the coverage that y'all desire, both here at the courthouse and the annex, for the security.
Well, I was just thinking the higher building. That's where I hoped that was going.
Yes.
Because the
Yes,
line of sight.
and what we've done, we've got a place up at the courthouse, up on the penthouse already, because we relocated probably about 3 or 4 years ago, relocated a receiver antenna, and so we've got a place that we can already go with an antenna up here.
Okay.
Do we currently have a repeater on top of the courthouse now?
No, sir. No, sir.
Where's our closest repeater?
The closest repeater is going to be out on Barnett Road, and you've actually got a receiver to that repeater that votes on the sites at Denver Street Water Tower. And what's happened is, and the sheriff pointed out, what happened to our system is in 2005, 2006, we looked at putting a voting system in for the county sheriff's office, and it increased a lot of the coverage throughout the county. In 2013, the FCC changed the law and said that everything had to be narrow banded, and as the sheriff stated, that really hurt our little voting system. That we've got receivers. We've got a receiver there at Denver. We've got a receiver at Electra. One it's one it's in Burke, and that allows portable coverage in those areas. But once we went narrow band, that really limited our range, because it's just the nature of the RF. When we went narrow band, it narrowed the range, And so therefore, we lost some coverage here in the courthouse, the annex, and around the county. And like the sheriff was saying, we're going to try to address that at the next budget meeting.
Okay. Wayne, so when this is up and running, we'll go away from Channel 2, which is talk around, and start using the repeater. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes. What we'll do is we'll have a standalone security channel for the courthouse and the annex. And with us choosing the courthouse as the location for the repeater antenna, we'll have decent little coverage around the area. And so that's what we're proposed to put a repeater just for security. And it'll be a completely standalone. We'll not talk on the SO repeater or any other system that the county has.
Why is this a digital repeater?
No, it's not a digital repeater. It is not. A digital repeater, if we put a digital system in, the digital repeater, Project 25 repeater, is going to be roughly 10 times the amount of cost. They're expensive. And just for security, just for this little area, I think the narrowband analog repeater is going to work for you guys.
Can I say something too at this point?
One of the things about it, because we're not on digital, if the deputy, say he gets in a foot chase with one of our probationaries that come over to turn himself in, which quite often they do, and they have warrants, once he leaves outside the building, he has to flip to the main channel, the main frequency of the sheriff's office operates over. Once again, we're back in that portable trying to hit the repeater, and it doesn't work. It's really a safety issue, not only for the deputy or anything else that happens over there. We're trying to call for help, whether it's fire or an issue in the tax office again, or something anywhere else. Parking lots, could be a car wreck outside, anything. They can't talk on the portable. And I mentioned we're going to come to you and show you a presentation of off of some issues that's happened, of some very serious issues we've had where our portable radios are not working nowhere really in the county. You can't hear, and it's really scary when you have to sit there and as a sheriff and sit there and watch in-car camera of deputies fighting somebody in the middle of a highway, and they can't get out on the portable radios, and the guy someone stops breathing, and you have to watch deputies run to patrol cars to use the radio because they can't use that $2,500 portable radio on their hip because of the system. So that's a different issue about going to digital. But we're on the analog system right now, and it's what's keeping it from working properly.
Is that $1?
That's $5, I believe, what the judge said.
Add some zeros.
Used to be 100.
Judge Fudge, I'm gonna blame it on
the
him.
same with those radios we just brought for Mark Brewer? Are they gonna have the same?
Yes, they'll have the same problem. It's the system overall that's going to address it, and we need to replace it from analog to digital. The digital, you can stand up on top of a Mount Carmel north of Pumpkin Center and sound like you're across the room talking to somebody on the radio. Now, you don't even try to use the portable radios when you get in those parts of the county. You can't; they just don't work.
Well, my question is, and I understand why we need radios.
Right.
So I just want to make sure we're buying the right equipment.
Right.
The digital repeaters that I purchase, they run me about $2,300. They carry 2 digital channels. I can also program the same repeater, an analog repeater. It can be either or. And I'm just wondering if we shouldn't buy an either or repeater so that when we do go to digital radios, we don't have to go and buy new repeaters. We'll have repeaters that are ready to go.
What you've got to be careful when you're talking digital. There's Project 25 digital, and then there's digital that each manufacturer carries. This repeater that I'm quoting you guys has the capability of doing Motorola digital communication.
So it is.
It's not Project 25. The radios that they've got are Project 25 digital. That's all the radios in the county have Project 25 digital, portable and mobile, have that capability programmed into them. The system that the county has is an analog system. But as far as a $2,300 digital Project 20, there's not such a.
Okay.
But But there is a project or a Motorola or other manufacturer digital, and those when you purchase that equipment, you become locked into that manufacturer or that company or what have you, which is that's why they came up with Project 25, because everybody was building their own digital systems, and a Motorola couldn't talk on a Harris system couldn't talk on a Motorola system, so the federal government said, we need a standard, and that's the Project 25 standard, and that's what all the public safety has around this area, is the Project 25 equipment. And so if we put just a standard Motorola, they call it Moto Turbo, if we put that system in here, it will be that none of their portables will be able to talk with that Moto Turbo system.
Okay, and that's what I was purchasing was the Moto Turbo.
Yeah, the Moto Turbo system. They won't be able to talk with the Moto.
You can't program those radios?
The existing radios that we've purchased or that we've sold to the county does not have the Moto Turbo capability in them currently. And
I think the overall question here is, how does this fit into our plans to come back and revamp our system? Are we doing something that's going to fit when we get to that point? If not, then I think we need to look at where we're headed before we go and spend $6,100 on something that if we change up this summer, it's going to be of no use to us.
Okay, now the mobile or the portables and the mobiles that you're purchasing, yes, it will work on the new system that we're going to propose. Now this annex repeater, this is just addressing, this problem that you got between the courthouse and the annex.
Okay, so it'll still be a solo,
it's going to be
own entity.
It's going to be a standalone system.
Even when the repeater comes into play at some point in time, or the upgrade comes into play, it won't become obsolete. We'll still use it.
You'll still be able to use it, yes, sir. You'll still, because it is analog, and all your Project 25 radios that you purchased will do your analog and your Project 25. So that system will still be there and still be operational. The SO will not have to listen to day-to-day operation on between the two buildings and what have you, but it'll still be a viable system.
Okay. My question is, when we do upgrade David's stuff in this next budget deal, are we buying the right thing that will coordinate with that? But it sounds like to me it doesn't matter because it's going to be a standalone entity.
Well, your radio itself will work either way.
Yes.
This repeater is an isolated system that will work here locally and takes care of the communications gap that we have for communications between the annex and the courthouse.
Yes, sir.
And then the dispatcher can bring in the additional characters that are needed if there's backup or something else needed. So,
okay, for us low-tech guys, if Robert's walking through the annex and he's got a handheld, he can talk on this system between the annex and the courthouse, back and forth between his other security personnel, and then with that same handheld, can he also access the sheriff's office channels when he get this thing upgraded?
Yes, sir. He'll be able to switch channels
so
and talk on.
Okay, that answers my question.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll still
because the portables and the mobiles, they'll operate on either system.
So when we get this thing upgraded, if we've got a security guy over in the annex and he's got a problem, he can not only call the people that are in this 2 or 3 building area or whatever it is, however far that encompasses, but he can also flip channels and get any of the deputies that are out on patrol or anywhere else that can come.
Yes, sir.
That's what I wanted to know.
You always have to keep in mind, you've got a whole lot of difference between a mobile radio's output and a handheld output.
Absolutely.
Yes, no matter what you do with a handheld, you're going to have gaps. Yeah. I don't think you're going to have 100% coverage anywhere throughout this county, but you can sure eliminate a lot of those problems.
You can help your coverage tremendously by going.
Well, if you did, you wouldn't need mobiles, Judge.
Yeah, right. You look at it at one way, the cellular industry in Wichita County probably spends billions of dollars to cover the county, and I can probably pull out a cell phone here and not have coverage. So
yeah, you can. There's a repeater.
You're just not going to cover everything with a
There's
portable.
a repeater in this building.
How many watts is this repeater? Is it 25 watt?
It's going to be a 45 watt repeater.
45?
Yes.
That's a good.
Yeah, it burns holes through the building into the other.
Dwayne, this licensing fee for FCC, is that a one-time or is that an annual?
That's a one-time
That's one
fee.
time.
That's
Sets
for the
you- sets you
for the
up.
coordinators.
Okay. Very good.
Late, microphone.
Bring up one thing.
Microphone, please.
I wanted to bring up one thing too, is that the radios that we're buying currently, the Motorola radios, the handhelds and the portables, mobiles, are not going to be affected by any of this. The difference in the systems is the programming. You just program the radio. So whatever we buy today is not going to be obsolete tomorrow, because it's the system, it's the backbone of the system that needs to be upgraded, not the handheld. So if we have 400 or 500 mobile and portable radios, those are not going to be wasted. We'll still be able to use those. We'll just change the programming on if we go to digital.
Right.
The judge, having heard the description and considering the security issue, and that's really what this is a security issue, I would make the motion that we accept the quotation of $6,187 for the courthouse annex security paid by appropriate 560 department budget line determined by the county auditor.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Muller, second by Commissioner Watts to approve the item as stated. Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, Judge, I'd like to hear what Robert Penaluna has to say. He's one that's more directly in contact with what's going on. And if he thinks this is what we need to do or get.
As y'all are aware, a couple of weeks ago, we had an incident at the tax office with a man trying to pay his taxes with folded up dollar bills. As the deputy went to arrest him, the suspect resisted. There was an altercation. That deputy could not even get out of the annex on the main frequency to call for help. But I believe finally someone at the annex called on the phone to our records people and told him he needed assistance. If he'd had a radio with the capability to talk back and forth, we could have been over there in a matter of minutes instead of as long as it took.
Robert, I think Commissioner Gonzalez's question is, have you looked at the system that we're looking at buying? And
Yes, sir, I believe it will be sufficient, yes, sir.
Any other comments or questions?
I have one.
Yes, sir, Sheriff.
Just let the court know that we did look through this very intensely along with Robert and just regular field deputies inside the annex and courthouse as well. So that's why we got everything through Motorola to be able to come in and look at it all. So this is what just something we're shooting at the hip from. This is something that I take very serious that we need to replace, and for not only officer safety but safety of our county employees and citizens that come inside of these buildings that we have to protect. The greater thing of the courthouse annex would be to have one entry with security at the door. That'll keep nutcakes from coming in doing the things that they can do. And we're still on high alert from this last little incident we've had because of some of the things we've understood he wants to come back and try. So I just want to let y'all know we're not just throwing something in the air and letting it land in laps and hopefully it passes. It's something to take very seriously. I just want to get that off my chest. Thank you.
I have one more thing I want to say too, is that we talked about, myself and Dwayne talked about putting this in, but not just jumping off there and buying that stuff till we check it. So Dwayne has a repeater that we're gonna test. He already has one. We're gonna put the antenna line in and then field check it to make sure that it's gonna work like it's supposed to be before we jump off there and buy the stuff. Between what he has and what I have, we can build, we can piece this together to get it to visually put it in and check it to make sure it's gonna work like it's supposed to.
Okay. That's really awesome. Because if we don't want to buy it, it doesn't work.
Right. I agree.
Could we just borrow it for a couple of years?
It's up to Dwayne.
How long a test do we get?
They call that a lease.
Oh, okay.
I do have one other question.
Yes, sir.
On the, I know that health security, but what is our coverage for Tommy's office if the car catches a fire on the side of the annex and we go out there to immediately address that problem? Someone comes in the front door with the handgun and robs a clerk. Do we have panic button situations where we can notify?
I'd like to suggest maybe have that in an one-on-one meeting, so we don't disclose any of our actual security things that we have. Just need to be publicly known. Yes, we'll be covered with things, I'm sure.
We've got things, we just don't want to list them all, what you're saying.
Right. We have toys, we're not going to bring them out and play till we
Right.
need them.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
my concern on that question was that, sure, it's been researched and everything else, but the deal is that sometimes we want to hear from the person that's being directly affected by this, and it's Robert, because he's in charge of those guys over there. And sometimes we have some things that just slip by, and we don't get to talk to the person that it directly affects. I know that there's been research and all that, but, you know, sometimes I want to hear from the...
Where the rubber meets the road.
Exactly.
All right, any other comments? Okay. All in favor of the motion by Commissioner Muller, second by Commissioner Watts to approve the item as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried 5-0. Item number 4 is discuss, consider, take action to accept the Mobile Phone of Texas quote number QU quadruple 0308286 in the amount of $7,062.57 for 3 radios for repeater security system to be paid by appropriate 560 department budget line item as determined by the county auditor, and to add $150 to that price for programming costs. Any comments, Sheriff, on this?
It goes right along with security. They've got to have communications and be able to try to call out on it. They need something.
Got to have a radio to use.
Got to have a radio.
Lee, do we
Microphone,
not,
please. Microphone.
Lee, do we not have the ability to clone radios? So would we need to pay this $150, or can we just clone these radios to our existing?
These radios right here that we're asking for the courthouse security guys, the same ones that y'all approved last week for the constables. And these are brand new radios. They quit making the XTS and the XTL models. These are new radios with a whole new program. So each one's going to have to be...
So we cannot clone these radios?
No, not right now, no, because we don't have anything to clone them from. But that's why I was going to stand up and tell y'all, these are the same radios. We've already researched these out. We figured out what options we need. And I kind of tell people, anymore buying a radio is like buying a computer. You know, do you want a hard drive, you want RAM, whatever. You buy a radio, you buy the base radio, if you will, the box, and then you specify what you want in it. So these radios are what we need for expansion, no more, no less. So these are probably going to be the best bang for the buck and comparable to what we're already using.
And we've already researched the price on this
Yes.
last week. And
Yeah, right, that's...
I was just telling Dwayne, thank you.
Yeah, that's the contract
It's a very
price
good
on it.
price.
Is that the buy board price? Probably.
This one is actually, what'd you say, off of
It's off the
Denton.
County.
Denton?
Oh, okay. Same concept. Yeah. Co-op pricing, I think is what they
Yes.
got.
Well, the way that works is if Denton or whoever wants to go out and spend $10 million in radios, they go out for quotes from Motorola, and we just ride on their contract prices. So the more people buying these radios, the better off it works for us.
Okay.
Are these radios for the security? Or what's the purpose of it? For who's going to be using these radios?
These are for courthouse security guys that y'all just approved the system for.
We've added 3 additional personnel in this year's budget for courthouse security.
I'd also like to say one thing too on the price. It was $72,1257. There was $150 programming that wasn't included.
That's why I said to add that.
Right. Just want to get the full price out there.
72,1257 is the total. Okay.
That's $150 more.
Okay. Got you.
Okay.
That's the programming.
All right. Do we have a motion then?
So moved, Judge.
Thanks, sir.
I'll second.
Thank
Judge.
you. Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Muller to approve with the item as presented, except adding $150 additional cost for programming to the $7,062.57. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Wayne, thank you. I think we're through your items, but you're welcome to stay. All right. Item number 5, discuss, consider, take action to accept ICS quote number 020315-9031 in the amount of $10,200 for 300 mattresses for the courthouse jail and the Sprague Jail Annex to be paid from 100.561.3504 bedding and linen supplies. Sheriff, you all had a chance to test all these mattresses?
Well, we bring some inmates up for their testimony, if we'd like to have some up here, but we can bring sheets that let's try.
These digital or analog?
Either one. Either one. The jail.
Well, you flip them.
This is awfully, it's been budgeted for. I'll let Captain Johns, if you don't need any more technical information about the actual mattress, but Captain Johns' project.
Are these Sleep Number mattresses?
Number one.
Yeah, they're all number one.
They're all number one.
Grown.
Okay.
Can I ask one take action on this, please?
So moved, Judge.
Thank you.
Captain, did you have anything you want to add? Okay. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Watts to approve the item as requested. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried 5-0. Item 6, discuss, consider, take action to accept Wichita Restaurant Supply quote dated January 7th, 2015 in the amount of $1,399 for a meat slicer for the jail annex to be paid by 100.561.57XX, appropriate line to be determined by the county auditor. Who's got the ball on that?
Captain Johns.
Would you hand him, somebody hand him a microphone, please? Too late, Ted.
Morning. This food slicer, we have had some problems with in the past. We've got 5 invoices starting back in June 25th of last year. Those 5 invoices total $2,368.05 in repairs. This item is used about 3 times a week, and we don't need to repair this any longer. We need to buy a new one. It's going to be cheaper than the continued repairs on it, and so we would request the purchase of that new slicer at $13.99.
Is it still serving, would it still work if you had it as a backup or anything, or is it going to be?
I think that one's pretty much shot. It's my understanding they're not even able to use it anymore, so that's the big problem with it now. I think it's beyond repair.
It'll go away?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Not to the second floor of the Lindeman building? Could it be auctioned or?
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, it'll go somewhere.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Did we use it to unfold dollar bills?
Thanks for the information. I didn't know that's where we were secretly storing stuff.
I don't think Mr. Smythe heard you.
That's a new second floor. I'm glad to hear
What, Johnny, is, as we move forward on upgrading our jail kitchen and all, will this work into that plan?
Well, it should. It just it just plugs into the wall outlet. It's
Okay.
just
That's something
just
we
a
need
tool.
to
It's a
be
power tool.
thinking about as we move forward with this stuff.
Hopefully this one will last long enough to get us into the new kitchen, and we'll just
Hope so.
unplug it and take it with us. So,
Captain, I had a question too. I just noticed in looking through some of Bill's files on the Aramark
Yes, sir.
agreement. Did they come to the table with some additional equipment or furnish us some equipment when we selected them?
No, sir.
Okay. I wondered about that. And
They did previously, not this last go.
Previously they have, and those have included some much healthier purchases than $13.99, and they extended the life of the contract. Is what
But
they
you
did.
have to look at, Commissioner, they get the money back. You're paying for it. You may be paying more for it sometimes. You really got to kind of analyze those. Meredith?
Well, and if I can add to that, they came to the table with an offer to provide that as part of the contract. But if we were to terminate that contract, as you know, the commissioners are not allowed to create a debt for future courts, and that contract is longer than that period of time. And so that money that they were willing to invest had strings on it. One of those being that if we terminated early, we had to pay that money back. And so we told them, we'll be happy to do a separate contract agreeing to those purchases, but we can't put it in this contract because that would be an early termination penalty, which we can't do by law. So we had to remove it from the future contracts.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Make a motion that we approve the meat slicer as presented.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Motion by Commissioner Watts, second by Commissioner Mahler to accept the item as presented. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 7, discuss, consider, take action to accept a quote from Software House International, SHI Government Solutions, in the amount of $8,125 for renewal of the Viper Business and Viper Antivirus software to be paid from appropriate budget lines as determined by the County Auditor. Mr. Crutchfield, would you pass in the microphone, please, Mr. Hampton?
Y'all sure y'all need a microphone?
Yes, sir.
Is this better? This is our standard 3-year renewal on our antivirus product that we use around here. If we don't renew it, then we're going to get all kind of viri and malware and all kind of other fun stuff that y'all probably don't want no part of. I know I don't. But that's what this is.
George, if we buy this, will I quit getting pancake ticket?
No, sir.
The new tickets go on sale pretty soon.
So that would be
Look through that window.
That will not affect your ability
that
to
would be a
receive
no,
pancake
wouldn't
tickets.
it,
Okay, just curious.
You know, you could buy all 300 of them that she has, and that would stop that.
Man.
George, this is our regular budgeted antivirus software.
Yes, sir, it is. That's
And
correct.
with that being said, I make a motion that we accept the quote from Software House International Government Solutions, the amount of $81.25 for the renewal of Viper Business and Viper Antivirus software to be paid from appropriate budget line determined by the county auditor.
Second that.
Motion by Commissioner Mahler, second by Commissioner Watts to accept the item as presented. Any other comments or questions?
I think Lee seconded, didn't he?
Yes.
I'm a little bit
No, I'm sorry, Hart.
looking at me, yeah.
We won't ask
Just
for
for
a
the
vote
record.
on that.
Uh-huh.
Okay. He just hadn't said anything all morning.
I've been reading.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 8, Commissioner Mahler, you said to pull that.
Yeah, let's hold that. I talked with Bobby Yo this morning, and he's working on a couple of things. He would have been on it last week. They had some pump problems and other things that got their attention. He is addressing that this morning, and we will get that thing either repaired or replaced. But if we could pull that for today, it would help till we get some other consideration.
Okay. Item number 9, discuss, consider, take action to accept proposal from Aspen Elevator Incorporated in the amount of $1,780 to install new electronic timers on the two Otis Courthouse elevators with payment from 100.510.4455 for repair and maintenance building equipment, and authorize county judge to sign acceptance. Commissioner Mahler.
Judge, this has to do with the closing of the doors on our elevators. We've had a couple of incidents here in the courthouse. That is old technology on those doors, and as you know, people run up to a closing garage door, too, probably, yeah. Elevator door, and they stick their hand in there to keep it from closing, and if you're not in exactly the right place at the right angle, it doesn't necessarily always respect that. This would be an upgrade to the later technology that should improve that and keep our people safe. This is a safety issue, as we have had a couple of incidents where people put their hand in there and it didn't respect that, and it bit them. So I would make the motion that we upgrade those elevators as a safety issue for the $1,780 for the new electric timers on those two Otis Courthouse elevators.
Second.
The only thing I said to you when we talked about this, it shouldn't have to put signs up. Putting up wet paint signs really don't do much, but should not stick your hand in those places.
On any
foot,
elevator, don't do that.
Don't do it, no matter if it's the first day the elevator operates.
It's not a good idea. It's a habit, but it's not a good idea.
It's not a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's common practice. I mean,
It absolutely
There's
is.
a lot of stupid common practice. Okay. Got a pretty good scar right here on his arm for him. Wasn't an elevator, though. Okay. Motion by Commissioner Muller, second by Commissioner Watts to accept item number 9 as stated. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 10, discuss, consider, or take action to approve the county treasurer's report for December 2014 and authorize the county judge commissioners to sign the affidavit certifying compliance with section 114.026C of the Local Government Code, December 2014. Mr. Hampton.
Honorable Judge, distinguished court, we got good news and bad news. The good news is that we have people hired like Nikki and Inch who deal with millions of dollars in a year's time.
And I'm here to tell you, after 12 years of working with them, there's never a dime missing, and so that's really good news. The other good news is that Commissioner Mahler's back from the hospital. I meant to pray for that this morning, and I got tongue-tangled.
I'm good.
And, glad to have you back, Commissioner. The other good news is that if you're looking at 2000, and this is what you're looking at is the December report for 2014. And if you refer to 2012, our numbers are 8% above where we were 24 months ago. Wow. The bad news is that we're 2% less than we were our trailing 12 months. And the good news is as long as you can find those numbers, well, then you really don't have, a lot of anxiety. Some of that money came out of employee health insurance. Some of it came out of tobacco, and the majority of it, of course, came out of the GIN, our 100 account, general fund. So that's just reflective of what we did today. We can't continue to buy radios and mattresses and equipment for the kitchen and not expect to have a downturn.
Well, but actually, that position shows that there was the right planning, good conservation. We knew we were going to come out lower, and we're not as low as I really thought we'd because of some of the construction's been delayed more. But as we do these construction projects, and we're going to talk about a big one today, which is the jail annex, Harper Perkins is going to brief the court and anyone that wants to stay on the various projects laid out, which in the county clerk's office will start soon. The district clerk's office is being planned. The remodel of the tax office, the sheriff mentioned a single controlled entrance. Commissioner Preston had voiced that to the architects to look at how we might do that to improve that safety aspect in that building. So there's a number of things going on. All those cost money. The majority of what I just said other than the jail annex work is already in the permanent improvement fund. So unless we really do something beyond what our expectations have been, our balance should go down again in 2015 and in 16. But those are programmed, the money is there. The big one is going to be looking at the jail annex and how that cost and how much of that will be bonded and how much it will be paid out of cash reserves right now. So, but we do have money programmed to make a significant down payment on that, which will change. Your announcement next December will not be quite as good, but it will be done with purposely and not accidentally. So.
Well, absolutely. We're improving things just like a remodel of this courthouse. We saved a lot of money for the taxpayers by doing it in-house and doing it at this point in time because of the availability of workmen and the cost of goods and services. So, the Commissioner's Court is to be commended for, going out and doing what we're doing right now.
Well, can't overlook that department.
So we got, some large bills on permanent improvements that we hadn't paid, but we will be paying, and you'll see that
reflected in the January. You know, and a lot of things we've done, Judge, have been things that are going to make dramatic improvement to the function of this courthouse. I think about the parking lots that we're working on. That's one area where we probably had as much comment from the public as anything about access to the courthouse, access to these facilities. And we were looking at parking lots that were inefficient, in fact, even out of compliance in many areas with ADA, needed to be upgraded, and those are projects that we're working on. And yes, it's costing some money, but we're investing money in things that are going to bring real productivity to the county and convenience to the constituents that use these facilities. So I think it makes a difference. We're not just, we're not just foo-fooing up. We're building things that have substantial purpose and substantial value, I think, to the taxpayer.
Well, the other thing, and I don't want to overlook it,
Commissioner.
not only because they're here, but because it's a fact, the efforts and some change in some tax collection policies. I'm speaking well of you, sir. Pay attention. Okay.
Wake up, Tommy.
How to caught me off guard?
Yeah, I know. I thought we would. That's why I want you to listen, because it ain't going to happen real often.
Get a good ear up here.
Yes, sir.
Record this.
But the efforts done in working with what has done under Ms. Smythe and Mr. Glasto, and the great efforts on the part of the personnel in that tax office, we've had a positive growth in overall tax collection, both current and delinquent collections, and a good system of working through that. So that's been a very positive change. And Mr. Smythe's going to brief us later on some of the other changes. One of those I'm going to be curious to see is, the outsourcing of vehicle registration, how well that's worked for us, and he's looking at some other ideas to try to change and open up accessibility for payment. So those things all add to positive cash income. So thanks, sir. You and your staff. Anything else, Mr. Hampton?
I believe that's got everything.
All right.
Thank you.
Judge, with that being said, I'd like to make a motion that we accept and approve the county treasurer's report for December 2014 and authorize the judge and commissioner to sign the affidavit certifying compliance with section 114.026 for December of 2014.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Waller, second by Commissioner Watts to accept the treasurer's December report and have the court signed. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Down to public comments. Anyone in the audience have anything to bring up?
I'd like to bring up the fact of how proud I am of our sheriff's department. They performed at Judge Price's service with the honor guard. They not only look like an honor guard, but they conducted themselves as such. And I know Mrs. Price just went on and on how pleased she was and how she felt about that show of respect that the sheriff's department did for the judge, and also there was many Blue City people involved in that. But the preponderance of the guard was all sheriff, and they really did a great job, and the new hats and everything really.
It was impressive.
Very impressive.
Melvin Joyner working with Bill Henning, there we go. George Robinson, all that, they pulled that together to have never worked together before, and for the sheriff's color guard to be pretty doggone new on the scene.
Didn't look it.
Didn't look it, no. So
Those guys and gals, they work. Those guys off to make it work. And, it's their dedication to the sheriff's office and working with the county is what makes it do that.
well, I noticed you all helped out on Larry Nash's funeral also.
I was going to say, they turned right around and showed up at Mr. Nash's service, and we could not have gotten from the church to the cemetery, I don't think, without their help. We had probably 80 cars following, and it was, as I've tried to explain to the city how important a lead is, which they will not listen to. the sheriff's department really saved us a lot of, people will stop if they know what's going on. If they don't know, they'll drive. They're driving 4 blocks, their mind is 4 blocks ahead of them.
You know, I'm gonna say in Texas, people pull over the road and stop.
No, not in Texas, Judge.
Well,
in Wichita County.
In Wichita County, okay. But you gotta be careful. If you're somewhere else and do that, you can get run over. They don't understand that. And, you know, if you see the Patriot Guard leading that coffin, that's even more reason to do that. But, all right, anyone else, anything to,
Judge, I want to take just a moment. I spoke with Sheriff Duke on Friday. I want you to openly thank him, very openly, for the extra security that David and his staff provided our tax office the last week or so. I spoke to David before that last week. It had been extremely heavy, and I can assure you it was. And having that staff over there during that last week was phenomenal, great help. It's nice to pull up and see a sheriff's car in the front or in the back of the park on 6th Street. And I know our staff appreciates it. I can tell you from other department heads inside that building, comments made, that we're very happy to have David and his staff over and do a great job. He's got some people over there with the right temperament. Deputy Glaze is great to work with, everybody else he's put over there. But it's really worked out well. And again, that program just started the 1st of January. Here we are about the 1st week in February. It's worth its weight in gold to have somebody over there last week. But on behalf of my staff, and I can speak most certainly on behalf of the rest of the department heads in that building, we are tickled to death to have a sheriff's office inside our annex and be part of our family over there.
Judge, I want to take just a minute and give some personal thanks. Losing Judge Price was a hard thing to do, and when Judge's wife asked me to help kind of coordinate some of the festivities, that's hard.
yeah, you did well.
I didn't do nothing.
You had a lot of good help.
I'm him. I want to make sure that everybody here knows that Melvin Joyner and George Robinson and Bill Hennon talk about absolutely wonderful, hard-working people. And Melvin has been, I don't know, he's a godsend. And everybody just pulled together. And our Wichita Falls Fire Department, our PD, we had members from Electra and Isle Park and Burke. And then our Jeff and I were sitting at the church, and I was kind of griping about spending $8,000 on honor guard uniforms, you know, being old tightwad. And then Sheriff told me we got that as a grant, and old Jeff said, "Aren't you glad we did that now?" And I really am. And those guys are
There's a little more
awesome.
to come, though, but
Awesome.
it's still all worth it. No.
Well,
And it's been done with that grant. That's
Yeah.
a good move on the sheriff's part.
very, very proud to be. I'm just, thank you. It's great.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I'd like to reiterate that, you know, guys like Melvin and a special group of sheriff department guys, you know, if they didn't feel comfortable with their boss appreciating stuff like that and being a community guy like you are, David, sincerely, it makes me tremendously proud when you're out there in force. That the guys couldn't have been more top notch. Bob, you did a fantastic job with your part, so I just want to reiterate to everybody how proud I was of the job that y'all did at Mark's Funeral.
Well, all went well. One other announcement I would like to make: many veterans received this notice from the VA out of Oklahoma City that got to us afterwards. That if you're a veteran and you're going up to the Lawton VA clinic, which is on Fort Sill, you've got to apply ahead of time to get a pass to get admitted to Fort Sill, because it's now a closed post. And unfortunately, the letter got here, at least mine did, after the fact. But if you're a retiree, you can go. But if you are a vet, you have the VA card, your picture, and all that on there, that's really nice, but that's not going to get you on. You've got to apply for, you know, the individual pass for that period that you're going to go on there. So it's a new procedure, and they don't care what you show them. I don't think they're going to let you on without doing that. So keep that in mind. This did go out as a notice. Don Swift puts out newsletter to all the posts and all and veterans organizations, but somebody will not get the message because not everybody's involved in those. But hopefully this will help. Anything else to be brought up and shared before we go into a work session to discuss the construction projects?
Just a quick report, Judge. I attended a BLM meeting in Fort Worth on Thursday. There were 3 of those economic workshops scheduled, and the judge from Clay County, I think, went to the Wichita, Kansas one. The judge from Wilbarger County went to the Norman, Oklahoma meeting on February the 4th. I attended representing the court in Fort Worth, Texas, and of course this is our ongoing concern with the BLM challenges that we've got on the Red River. That's not exactly what these meetings were for, but they were quite impressed that about 25 of the 30 people attending that meeting in Fort Worth were directly involved and interested in the Red River part of the BLM deal. And it is our commitment, and has been the commitment of this court, also Wilbarger County, Clay County, and others, to be there when they have one of these meetings. And we have been to represent our constituents. I know Commissioner Harvey's been extremely involved in this. You have. This is an ongoing deal. And to cut this short, I will say they did announce that they expect Clay County farmer and rancher Tommy Henderson to receive his land back by April. That's what we were told at this meeting, that they would give title back to him. That's a monumental thing, and that's been going on for about 20 years.
Absolutely.
Did they say April of which year?
Good point. But that's one of the reasons why we wanted to have representatives at all of these meetings, and they have been very, very impressed that when they open the doors, the folks that are involved in that Red River deal are there. They never expected, the guy from Tulsa told me, he said, boy, y'all are about a tenacious bunch. He said, every time we have a meeting, there's a bunch of you that show up, and I think that's made a tremendous impact.
Barry, go ahead and tell the folks about the support that we've gotten from Mac Thornberry.
Well, Mac's got a bill in committee right now, and what the bill basically will do, and by the way, Caleb Poole was at the meeting representing Mac's office. He always is when we have one of these things. What this bill will do is that before anybody can do anything with land in the Red River, it's going to have to be surveyed, which is a monumental undertaking to survey that Red River area. So what Mac has proposed is that if you're going to come up here and claim something, you're going to have it surveyed. And the BLM went to the Texas Land Office and asked them to survey it, and they said, we have no interest in it. Said, we're not going to go and pay the bill to survey the Red River for a project that you guys are wanting to undertake. So
the estimated cost of that's a little over $6 million.
Yeah, it's like shooting at a moving target. It's extremely a problem. But the amount of interest in this from Wichita County, from Wilbarger County, from Clay County, Cook County, others, all up and down this Red River corridor, has really made an impression on the BLM guys. They never dreamed that they would find this kind of interest and this kind of opposition. And every time they open the doors, we're going to be there. So,
well, we might want to think about that survey. If we could kind of cut north and bring in the Indian lands, we would own those casinos in Texas now.
And a couple of oil wells.
And a couple of oil wells.
That's not as good as it was a month ago, but
no, still not bad.
I have to apologize to the folks in Precinct 4 and Electra. I didn't make the chamber banquet Saturday night. I had some things come up that how'd it go? Did you win anything?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, great time, good food.
Did you win any door prizes?
I did win a door prize, so.
Killing me.
It was, no one left there empty-handed. It was a very good time.
All right. We're going to take a short recess. We'll start come back at 11:15. It is now 11:04.
That's one thing the BLM guy told me. He's one thing we learned from all this.